Welcome to a platform where we debate on the top stories of the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, and other leagues with the best in the world of sports. You'll also get interviews with many athletes and media talents at several basketball events, including the WNBA and college basketball. My name is Rafique Louison, and this is Nothing But That Sports Talk. Yeah, welcome to another episode of Nothing But That Sports Talk. I'm Rafique Louison alongside Patrick Poullard and Ryan Walker. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good to be back. And yeah, I mean, I already addressed it with this guy named Omari White earlier this week. And yeah, the Boston Celtics are NBA champions for 18th time in franchise history. Now, let's just get your opinion on this, because obviously this has to be like one of the most one-sided NBA finals we ever seen, which is expected because this Maverick roster outside of Kyrie has never been that far. But Ryan, give your thoughts on the Celtics championship run this year.
They did what they had to do, congratulations to them. I'm not a person that's fond of Boston or Philadelphia sports team rival-wise, but we always give credit where credit is due. When somebody accomplishes something, that's what you're supposed to do. Some people do that. Other people, they'll never bite in and give anybody credit, just like the third gentleman we have on the panel today. But the Boston Celtics did what they did do the whole year. They were record-wise the best team in the Eastern Conference the whole year. I will agree that their road to the riches probably wasn't the most strenuous. But I mean, they don't make the schedule; they just play the games. But it definitely was. If the stars are ever aligned for the Boston Celtics team over the last few years to finally get over the hump, they had a few interesting losses over the last few years. Then it was aligned this year. They played a Miami Heat team with no Jimmy Butler, with no Rozier. They played a second round opponent. Who did they have in the second round, guys?
The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cleveland Cavaliers, yes, who Jared Allen was the whole series, and Donovan Mitchell. And the series ended up missing almost 2.5 to 3 games. But they were better than the Cavs anyway, so they were going to beat them regardless. And when they played the Indiana Pacers, who probably, good young team, God bless Halliburton and the kids and Turner and the coaching staff, what they did down there. But let's be very candid. They should have never beat the New York Knicks if the Knicks were even 1/10 of more healthier. And that's not to say that the Knicks would have necessarily beat the Celtics in the next round. But nevertheless, the pace that they played the most inferior team from that series, and they were young and they had played well in game 1. And then after that, Halliburton was hurt the rest of the series, and that pretty much was going to be their demise there. Dallas should be a little bit ashamed of themselves, even though that first time in the finals thing, yeah, I get it, but Kyrie's there. Luka's a big time player. Luka might have been the first time big time in his finals, but this is not his first big time game of his life. He's been playing big time games since he's been 12, 13 years old, internationally, and so on and so forth. So they need to fix that roster, because 2 and 10 nobodies is not going to work, clearly. And the Western Conference is going to be competitive and even better again. I'm pretty sure the Denver Nuggets, the champs, the once champs, are going to be upset and try to be back at it. I'm pretty sure Minnesota has a bright future. I'm pretty sure the Lakers seem like they might be doing things to change their ball club out of the acquisition they did at head coaching today. There's so many teams in the West that are going to get back at it that they better find a way to reconstruct some of that. Otherwise, it'll be what it is. But once again, Celtics did what they had to do. Patrick, for years, have been telling me they're a joke and it's a figment of our imagination. I am not a Boston supporter, but I can tell you that whether you like it or not, you were wrong on that. And the Celtics won the NBA Finals. And like I said, shout out to them, but I'm already concerned about what the Knicks can try to do in the offseason to catch up to those guys right there.
Yeah. Patrick, I've heard you say a lot of stuff about the Celtics, and the Celtics did get the job done. So, thoughts?
I give Boston absolute no credit at all.
See?
None.
You see?
I give them no credit. I give
so
them no
if
credit.
Our Knicks would have done.
I give them no credit. I'll explain why. Okay. First of all, I'm the prophet, and the prophet is never wrong. The prophet is always right. First of all, the first thing is I'm surprised that Dallas did not exploit that Boston front court. I'm shocked. They should have been able to have their absolute way with that front court. They should have been posting them up. They should have just been going inside, forcing Boston to have to try to guard their bigs in that front court. I don't understand why their game plan was just to keep coming out and shooting three-pointers over and over and over and over again. Come on, man. Boston can't guard nobody. Boston cannot stop a leak in a bicycle tire. You understand? They literally cannot guard anyone. They absolutely should have obliterated that front court. I don't understand at all why they did not go after that front court. Because that's what they should have done. That's the first thing. And the second thing, too, really, these injuries just ruined the entire playoffs, really. I was not feeling the entire playoffs. I got to be honest. This whole playoffs, other than the Knicks, I really didn't watch that many games because so many the injuries just ruined everything. Okay. I couldn't feel it. So that's why I'm not giving Boston a lot of credit. I'm not hating on Boston for the effect to just hate on them. That's not the reason. I'm hating on them because they got breaks that they did not earn.
But usually breaks are not earned in life. It's a break, right? No,
but these were huge breaks. I mean, are you serious? These are incredible breaks. I mean, they have to play almost every team without their best players playing. Eat 3 times in a row. That's a big break, wouldn't you say? I hope the Knicks will get a break like that. It's been a while since the Knicks won a championship. I hope the Knicks will get some breaks like that next year, man.
Well, didn't I mention that first to say that their road to getting a championship was ideal for them? It was like the NBA gods finally said, "We need you to get past the Miami Jimmy Butler wave, the Milwaukee wave, the losing in the finals to the Warriors wave, the disappointing postseason little things here wave, because everything worked perfect for them." For the matchups and the teams they played. To me, in essence, they weren't battle-tested in any series as we see. The Mavericks didn't compete at all. And I see, and everything I'm going to go for in this session with you, Patrick, I'm going to just try to lean towards facts. Rafique, correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't the Boston Celtics a top 5 defensive team in the regular season and postseason this year?
Yes, they were.
So now you just told me, Patrick, that they cannot defend and they cannot stop. What was that? A leak in a tire? Excuse me. Was that his terminology?
They can't stop a leak in a bicycle tire.
They were a top 5 defensive team. Their point guard is actually one of the best on-ball defensive players in the NBA. Porzingis is a shot blocker and a rebounder. Al Horford is not 25 years old, but he's a savvy, smart veteran who knows how to make plays defensively and do well. We've watched him in the past. Hold on. Oh, yeah?
Are you serious?
Rafique, 3-4 years ago, I watched Al Horford shut down Giannis Antetokounmpo. Am I lying? Am I saying anything that's a lie? Am I saying anything that's a lie? I've watched Al Horford from Florida University days be a defensive cog, and all his years, even those Atlanta days when they didn't have a good, he was the only defensive cog they had.
How old is Al Horford? Are you serious? Al Horford can't shut down a bathroom faucet.
They were so explain to me how they were a top 5 defensive team. I don't make the numbers up. I'm just reading. They were
not a top 5 defensive team. They can't guard nobody. They played the
And this is the same Drew Holiday that stole the ball from Devin Booker in the finals 3 years ago. So what are we talking about here?
Regular season, they didn't play anybody in the 82 games because for 82 games they were a top 5 defensive. Matter of fact, they were like a top 3 defensive team.
No way.
Oh my God!
No way. No way. How many points a game were they giving up? Are you kidding me? They can't guard nobody.
Everybody in the NBA gives up points. Everybody gives up 100 points. The Knicks give up 100 points, and we were a good defensive team.
No, well, the Knicks were a little bit better defensive team, but the Knicks were a better defensive team this year than last year. Because last year they couldn't play no D either. But the Celtics can't guard nobody.
Yes, they can.
The game plan that Dallas had for this thing was absolutely horrible.
Now,
they should have absolutely exploited that front court. They should have been posting up. They should have posted up as much as they possibly could.
Pat and Rafique. Now, you made an let me take it on my glasses. You made an outstanding point. The Mavericks, with some of they should have been putting the ball more inside more. Now let's be fair. I don't think they have a dynamic. They don't have anybody that can create a shot besides Kyrie or Luka. Those other guys cannot. Maybe Washington a little bit, but they don't have a post-up guy or a guy who can face up to make plays down there. Nobody that the Celtics are even threatened by. So because of the way they play offense and what they were trying to do, it wasn't working. I think the reason why they were shooting a lot of threes is because they could not get to the basket and they were being defended at a high level by the Boston Celtics. They were frustrated. They couldn't do anything.
Boston was in the top 4 defense at 108.8 per game this season during the playoffs. And in the defense, they only gave up 100.7. Or you round to the nearest number, that's 101 points throughout this year's playoffs.
No, but look at what their defense was during the regular season. It was the regular season that I was saying that I was repeatedly saying they couldn't guard nobody. How many points were they giving up? Look how many points they were giving up. Look how many points they were giving up.
Defensively, the Celtics give up 109 points per game throughout the regular season, but that's still good enough to get into the top 5. But they were number. But they were number 2 offensively.
That is not good, man. That is not defense, man. That is not defense.
They won 60-something games.
They won 63 games.
Yeah, but how many? They won it by default, man.
They won 63 games by default
this year.
They had
how many injuries?
They had
how many injuries?
This All-Star break, Patrick. Let's keep that in mind.
Listen, man. How many teams had devastating injuries? Look at the Knicks. Just look at the Knicks. Look at the Knicks. Just look at the Knicks.
Okay, but the Knicks
just look at that as an example.
They did make it to Game 7 of the second round, which is something that they couldn't do last season and 10 years before that.
Okay, but I'm saying if the Knicks would have had their regular team, that series would have been over in 4 games. Okay,
let me tell you something, Pat. Why I love you.
They'd be in there in 4 games. We wouldn't even go past 5 games.
Because our viewers might think we hate each other because how we go at it. Let me tell you why I love you. If the Knicks would have did that same kind of run in the same fashion and won the NBA Finals, you would have been walking outside butt naked with a Mets hat on, spinning like goddamn, a part of my French, like Peter Mockentail. If we would have did the same thing. At the end of the day, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Whatever we don't like Boston or Philly, the Celtics are the champions. They have the most championships now in NBA basketball history. And you told me they were a fraud, but guess what? They are NBA frauds. I would love for the Knicks to be the NBA fraud champions. Please sign me up, because if you're telling me that what they did, like look how nasty that is, Patrick. You're giving them no credit for winning the NBA Finals. Holy crap.
Zero crap.
So now, Rafique, you can understand why sometimes there's things like Patrick is a very intelligent sports guy, but he's too personal. He doesn't sometimes take his personal things outside of the box and just evaluate sports for how it is. It's too much of his St. John's bias. It's too much of his Mets bias. It's too much that he's too caught up into our Knicks to give anybody else credit bias. And sometimes you have to judge sports for what it is. You cannot be a prophet and a historian and always be opinionated. You need substance and facts. The Celtics are the champions. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Even though the Knicks had the better playoff series against the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round, the Celtics are a champion. Let's just leave it at that.
Whether we like it or not, nobody in this conversation likes that the Celtics are the champions. What they are.
Well, I hope the Knicks get some breaks like this. I'll take it.
Yeah,
we've been looking for a break since 1973. We've been looking for a break from 73 and we can't get it. This year was our time, and look how the NBA got screwed us with all the injuries. Look, so
yeah, no, I said, though, the injuries messed up everything, really. I mean, I've never seen this many injuries to this many key players in one postseason. I've never seen something like that ever. I've never seen that, and I've been watching the sport for over 40 years. So I've never seen something like that. This is the first time I could remember something like this. I mean, I've never seen something like this ever.
Yeah, there have been a lot of injuries. We get it. All right, to continue the NBA conversation, earlier today it was announced that JJ Redick is going to be the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. After being a TV analyst this year's NBA season, he's going to be coach of the Lakers. So, any thoughts, gentlemen, on JJ Redick going to the Lakers as a head coach?
Yeah, that is quite the quantum leap, huh? Guy who has no coaching experience?
Yeah, crazy.
He has no coaching experience. He has no coaching experience at all.
He's been TV analyst for over 2 years.
Okay, that's not a coach, brother. You go from a guy who has no coaching experience.
Okay,
he's gonna coach in the Lakers.
Eric Spoelstra, when we say there, Eric Spoelstra, he never coached. He was an intern for the Miami Heat before becoming the coach.
But he did work on the staff. He worked on the staff.
He was an assistant coach first.
Yeah, he was. 100%.
He was an assistant coach, so he did have some coaching experience.
Yes, from the video training, he actually did multiple positions in the Heat. He was like a scout. He did video training. He
never had a basketball career.
But he was in. Listen, Patrick said it. First of all, JJ Redick, my guy. Everybody know how I feel about Duke University. God bless.
Exactly.
Okay, I think he's the second leading scorer ever in ACC history. Had a decent NBA career, made money. He is a very intelligent sports guy for basketball. The guy knows what he's talking about.
You have to have intelligence in order to be the coach.
However, he doesn't have no experience in basketball for coaching. Now, that's a different story. We've seen many people do that. Listen, he there because LeBron there. All right? LeBron signed off for him. Offered Bobby Hurley an extravagant thing. Bobby really just wanted to hear the pitch because deep down inside, I don't think Bobby really was ever going to leave UConn because he's got a great thing going on over there and makes good money down there as well, too. So.
You mean Danny?
I'm sorry, Daniel, excuse me, national champion on the last UConn roster.
He was not going to walk away from that. I mean, why would you walk away for a chance to help UConn three-peats?
Well, the money they was offering, you always will think about it. But it was a thought process. So after that, we see, and you know what? The Lakers actually offered him something good. And he turned it down. And then 2 seconds later, they went to the plan B, which was, Brian, if that's what you want, we was going to go this way. And so that's why we know he's in there, even though he knows basketball. But the truth is the matter.
Why not a guy?
He has no experience.
Why not a guy like Mark Jackson?
Why
not him?
Because LeBron played for the Lakers. And what he says clearly goes. And everybody has screwed Mark Jackson over the years. So we know he's not going to get a job.
So who the heck is the general manager? Is LeBron's the general manager of the Lakers now? He's the general manager?
Him and Jeannie Buss sitting in Patrick. We know. I ain't saying this right.
He's the general manager now?
Who's the head coach now? Head coach of the team.
So a dude who's never coached a basketball team in his life. You went from a guy. Listen, understand this. Lakers is a treasured franchise. You went from a guy who never coached to you're the coach of the Lakers.
Why do you really think that JJ Redick is there? Be honest with me. Guys? Why is JJ Redick on the Lakers as the head coach?
LeBron James and JJ Redick do a podcast together.
That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. But it is what it is. I'm not a Lakers fan, but I thought the Lakers could do better. I thought the Lakers could do far better. A guy has no experience, never coached anything. This dude never coached a middle school team, and he went from that to he's the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers.
I say this right. I remember
when Hillary coach.
But let's not forget. All it takes is a strong basketball mind and a solid NBA career. I don't say he never coached a day in his life, but there have been a lot of people that never coached basketball, or never had a basketball career, but they end up coaching anyway because they know basketball. Let's keep that in mind.
Okay, but weren't there much better candidates than him?
Yeah,
weren't there much better candidates?
I mean, they could have went with Monty Williams, but Monty Williams is coming for a bad Pistons team. They weren't going to give him that contract.
There's other candidates other than Monty Williams. I just mentioned the guy, Mark Jackson. I just mentioned that. Mark Jackson's a better candidate than him. There's other candidates out there. They could have went with John Calipari. They could have asked him. I mean, there's a lot of dudes they could have went out and got. They could have gone to Mike Woods. There's plenty of dudes that they could go out and get that were much better candidates than them. At least guys that had some kind of experience.
Mm-hmm. And let's get it. And like I said, for the viewers, let's get it right again. JJ Redick has experience in basketball and life. He knows basketball. He just doesn't have coaching experience. Mm-hmm. Now there are, like, Sam Cassell could have been offered the job. The assistant, like, there are many other brothers. You could have asked Stan Van Gundy. You could have talked to Jeff Van Gundy. You can see, and here goes another thing too. The NBA, as much as we love it, hopefully this doesn't come across the way. Sometimes I think when the NBA X's you out, they X's you out. It's been years we've been talking about Jeff Van Gundy getting certain positions. Now, a lot of it too is I don't think they want certain positions because they want, and I don't blame them, situations to be a certain way. But it seems like for some reason the NBA has phased out Jeff and Mark Jackson, right, guys? So that's for years with him with positions. But there are other guys there. And when we talk about the game, and especially if we want to go down to black and white, there are many brothers that do coaching and don't get those same positions. And now, this guy's in there. And it's not a demographic thing, I think, with this one. So I'm just, throwing out a lot of stuff there. Patrick, Rafique, we know the answer. As great as a basketball mind as JJ Redick is, he is there because LeBron and him are men. And they better now put themselves with a good core and everything, because it's very hard to win in the NBA. And I wish him well, but it is very hard to win. And sometimes we watch Steve Nash. How did Steve Nash do as a coach?
Not too well. He wasn't that.
Did he have any experience?
He didn't have any experience prior to that.
And it didn't work out. And I believe he had teams. Did he have time with Durant and them and Harden? Did Nash, was he there for that? No. Was he anywhere else?
He goes to the Brooklyn Nets at that time. But if you're talking about before then.
Well, I'm talking about when he was the coach. So listen, I like Redick, smart guy, good guy, but I hope it works out. Usually these type of situations don't work out. Just them acquiring Redick and his intelligence of sports is not going to help the Lakers win the Western Conference. They need basketball players, and then he has to also buy in to the philosophy of whatever thing is talking about and going from there. And I love Bron, and Bron, we always have those conversations. Bron, now that, not saying he's against that, now that Redick is there, are you going to allow him to coach you too? You understand? You have to be able to, it just can't be you running the show. You got to be able to listen as well too. So listen, God bless them, wish them luck, I guess. But
this is a train wreck. This is a train wreck waiting to happen.
Could be. It very well could be.
It is. Listen, man, dealing with basketball players is, because I coach, so dealing with players is not easy. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to deal with players. Dealing with a bunch of spoiled, rotten NBA players, that's got to be the most difficult out of all of them, man. That's got to be, because you have to have some kind of credibility as far as a coach. This guy has no credibility at all. He has no credibility. He's not that much older than some of the players. I mean,
correct. You know what I'm saying?
Like, he's not that much older than them. He doesn't know. He's not gonna be able to handle this thing, man. Has no experience. Doesn't know how to run a team. We don't know how, if his people skills where he can relate to dudes, where he can really communicate with different personalities like that. It's the NBA too. It's the NBA. It's the NBA. You're playing. You're coaching against the best players in the world. You're coaching against the best coaches in the world. You're doing all this. This is a whole lot to throw on the guy that has absolutely no experience. This is a lot.
Oh, they ain't throw it on him. He took that job. You better buckle up. He took that job.
Well, okay.
So
I mean,
if he
is what it
accepted
is.
if
It
he
is what it
accepted it,
is.
I hope he's ready.
Well, I mean, don't hold your breath on that one.
No, I'm not. I don't live in California. I don't give a damn what they do.
Yeah. I mean, I know he's your man and all.
It all depends on the pieces they add around him. It really depends on that.
Yeah, because the Lakers is an aging team too. I mean, let's face it, their two stars are especially LeBron are aged. I mean, so this is a tough sell, man. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it really
That's
is.
a tough sell.
Yeah, you got an interesting point. And some of nothing but that sports talk. Quick talk news. Josh Giddey is getting traded to the Chicago Bulls for Alex Caruso.
Whoopee. Stop the press.
To see what happens there. And that's just a little update to start out the NBA agency. Well, OKC had a phenomenal year, but you gave up Josh Giddey to the Chicago Bulls for Alex Caruso. I wonder how that's going to go.
Yeah, but they got a lot of guards. They need a backup for Shy, and that's why they got Caruso to play backup point, be a defender, lead in the locker room. You can always put the kid Jalen Williams over to play stretch two guard. You still have Dort, who's a defender at the two guard. They have guys that they can change with that. And we're also talking about the Oklahoma City here, who has 9,000 draft picks. They'll probably go draft a shooting guard this draft.
I think Oklahoma is a team that's definitely on the rise. I think they're going to be really good next season. It won't surprise me if they can make. It won't surprise me if they can make to the finals. Really.
Yeah, but they were good.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I told you, Couch. I told you they were good this season. I told you about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Told you about that.
I mean, but we know about him, man. Come on, man. We know about him already.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think for next year, man, I really think because that team it's a young team. They got young, fresh legs. That team could go far next year.
Yeah, I think they're good. Honestly, they did. I tell you one thing the NBA did an injustice with. As much as I like Jokic, they should have never given the MVP to him. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should have been the MVP, and if it wasn't going to be Shai, they should have given it to Brunson. But honestly, the person who flat out earned it, Shai Gilgeous should be more of the MVP to me in my eyes, eye test and statistically than Jokic should. I don't buy that Jokic should have got it over Shai Gilgeous. That's my personal.
Well, they gave the Jokic because they'd won the championship. They're just coming back from winning a championship.
He won it last year, 2 years ago.
I know, but I'm saying, but they just coming back. They just came in like he had actually won a championship this time too. He won a championship, so yeah. I mean, that's
the number one seed. They were the number one seed.
The guy that really deserved it, though, was Brunson. Because Brunson, once Randall went down, man, Brunson had to carry that team by himself. At least Shea still had his guys around him. Brunson didn't have his guys around him, man.
Let me ask you a question.
Brunson had to carry that team by himself.
Let me ask you a question. They had a good young core. They do have a good team. Who are the guys you're talking about in Oklahoma? Can you name 5 players? Besides the one or two I just can you name them? Who are the guys? Because you said the guys in Oklahoma. Who are they? He took a kid. This team has been her.
What big three?
What big three?
The big Oklahoma? Three. Oklahoma. Yeah, the big three.
Name them, smart guy. Name them, Prophet. Oklahoma City has been a rebuilding lottery team for the last few years. That kid with some core kids took them to the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They lost in the same round that the Denver Nuggets did as well. And he is not the MVP, and Jokic is. And you know, as much as I love Brunson, this is why I'm saying just grasp this point. Jokic did not outplay or out-earn the award in the regular season of a Shai Gilgeous. Anybody who tells me that is flat out lying. The numbers will tell you, and your eye test will tell you. Jokic shouldn't have won. I could have dealt with Brunson because, yes, Brunson had more of a load to carry than Shai Gilgeous, 150%. However, still with the load that he carried, Shai had a big load too, you know. Nobody expected Oklahoma to be like this year. And they're actually 2 years ahead of what they're doing. So he had a lot on his shoulders as a young kid, too. I know the Clippers are kicking themselves. That they gave this kid away, and they've been looking for a point guard still the last few years. So Jokic shouldn't have won it. Shea should have been the winner. You know how I feel about Brunson. He had a bigger load, too. But still, if we want to look at it throughout everything, Shea's numbers were a slight bit better enough where he should have definitely won over Brunson, but it shouldn't have been Jokic. It should have been that kid. It should have been.
No, I agree. I don't think Jokic should have gotten it this year. I thought he should have gotten it the previous year. I didn't have a problem with it, but I didn't think he should have gotten it this year either. I didn't think that. Like I didn't have a problem with the previous ones that he got. I didn't have a big problem with it.
And Rafique, you know what that is too.
It is what it is. I mean, I think he got it because the team was coming off of a championship run and win.
And Giddey, I think the organization, even though he didn't get into any trouble, I think the organization wanted to go a different way, especially off the situation that happened with Giddey earlier this year. The Bulls are going to be absolutely anemic, so this gives him a place to grow and flourish because the Bulls are going to be very bad. So
the fire seller begins.
Yeah, they're going to be bad.
Yeah.
Well, at least it'll make it easier for my man Adama Sanogo to make the team.
Yeah.
That's one of my buddies, man. Adama Sanogo. That's one of my buddies. Even though he went to UConn and all, but I still love him. We still cool. We still cool. Adama Sanogo. Yeah, it's one of my buddies.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So big up to him.
Mm-hmm.
God bless.
Yeah. Now on to the very next topic. Yeah, Ryan, I kind of trolled you with it this week, and Patrick, I know you're gonna get some excitement for this one because the New York Mets are back in the playoff chase. Ever since Barney the Dinosaur do a pitch, and I'm not talking about the Barney the Dinosaur that we see on TV. I'm talking about that little purple mascot they made the first pitch. The Mets have been 7-1. Grimace, yeah.
Grimace.
Mascot, ever since they made that first pitch, it's sort of a glorified luck for the New York Mets because they literally got back in the thick of things. I mean, even though they did lose to the Texas Rangers yesterday, they did win the series, and now they're only a full game. They're around a game to a game and a half to half a game out of the last wild card spot, or one of the last two wild card spots. Patrick, how high are your confidence with the New York Mets getting back in the thick of things after they were 6 games out 2 or 3 weeks prior?
Man, who would have thought, man, that what as bad as McDonald's food is for you, because we all know McDonald's food is deadly if you eat that thing. Who would have thought that Grimace could bring such good tidings to this team, man? But man, look, it's about time because, with as much money as the Mets are paying this team, and they're still paying, by the way, they're still paying Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander salaries too, by the way. They're still paying those salaries. So they paying this team and they paying dudes. And matter of fact, they still have to pay Omar Narvaez's contract too. And Brian McCann. So they paying contracts. They paying like big money to dudes that's not even on the team. But thank God all those contracts are all gonna be coming off the books this year. So next season, Mets are gonna have like a whole lot more money to spend. But with the kind of money that they're spending on this team better start freaking winning games, man. I don't want to hear it. And and of course, the Mets did have some injuries. I mean, they're still playing without their best pitcher, Kodai Senga, and Senga he started throwing again. And we need Senga back in the worst way. We need him back. Exactly. We need him back strong. We need him to be good.
That's like around a 4 or 5 ERA or around that range. Giving about like 4 or 5 runs per game, and the closer can't close out games early this season.
So we need him back. We need him back. We need Kodai back. But I'm glad to see the bats are finally waking up too. So this and another thing too is the National League is down this year. Like a lot of teams in the National League aren't very good.
Dog fight for the last 2 wildcard spots.
Yeah, a lot of teams are not very good. Like only a couple of them even have 500 records. So Yeah, I mean, it's right there for us to take. It's right there. So, and teams that were really good, the Braves aren't doing so well. I mean, we played the Braves earlier this year and beat the brakes out of them. So we got a shot. We got a legit shot. So let's hope they keep it up.
Mm-hmm. Thoughts, Ryan?
I don't have anything to say.
What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
There's nothing for me to say.
All right, well,
I don't say nothing about baseball. I listen to the smart people and I sit back and watch. I don't got nothing to say.
Perhaps you want to talk about the Yankees and the spanking that they got today from the Orioles.
Yeah.
Perhaps you have some thoughts on that one.
Well, you lost yesterday too, so you're only as good as your last game. Just like he said, you lost 5-2 to the Rangers. We're just
killed.
Yeah. You've been getting killed for the stop
today.
Stop. You've had a week and a half of good baseball, and all of a sudden you're good. Stop. You've been getting killed for the last 2 months. Stop it. Don't do that. Don't do this. I'm trying not to do this. I want to talk about the Liberty. Don't do this. Don't do this because you are still 2 games under 500.
3 games
right
actually.
now.
3 games.
3. And Atlanta, you're saying is so bad. They're still 10 games above you and better than you. So stop it. Don't tell me nothing about no baseball. I don't want to hear nothing from you. You don't hear me talking no crazy. We have the best record in baseball. And our division actually has 2 to 3 competitive teams. But so listen, we're not gonna do that. There's 162 games.
You split with Baltimore, and Baltimore's improved.
Yeah, Baltimore's a really good team. Beat that ass. Speaking of which, we play the Yankees next week, by the way. And we'll be talking. Whoa. We play 2 times next week.
So scary. We're so worried. We've so looked at you on the schedule and said we so don't want to play those games against the team that is. What are they? 35.
Play them teams right now.
35 and 38. That's who we're afraid of. Let me look at these standings. Let me look at this. We're afraid of the team.
This team's red hot right now.
35 and 38. They had to win 8 out the last 9 to get to 35 wins, with the highest payroll in the history of professional sports. Anybody hear this that's watching the show? The Mets last year had a higher payroll than the New York Knicks, the Dallas Cowboys, Manchester United, Chelsea. This is a true story. They had the highest individual single season payroll in the history of professional sports, did not get 82 wins, were under 500, were absolutely anemic, was the worst professional team that played for New York last year. Yes, they were, from all the sports. And now they've done the same thing almost again. They put out a stupid animal from McDonald's, and all of a sudden you're telling me about winning baseball games? Stop it. Absolutely egregious. Lies. Asinine. You're going, go win the wild card. Win the wild card. That's what I want. I want you to win the wild card, and I want you to win the whole thing. There's nothing else to talk about baseball, guys. The Mets have won the World Series in June, so we don't have to talk about anything anymore. Congratulations. You're the champions for this 3rd week of June. Unbelievable. That's what we're talking about. It's good to be the king. Yeah, you can make the back of the New York Post.
I'll take it.
New York Post. Disgusting. 35 and 38. Talking to me about baseball. Had to win 8 games. Do you know what that means? That means 9 games ago, you had 27 wins.
Let's not forget, a few weeks ago, the Mets were 22 and 33.
Kidding me? Stop it.
Hey,
but God bless them. They're playing good now.
Teams turn around. This team is turned around.
You're right. There's about, what's that? 38. That's 48, 58, 68. So what's that? That's 74 games. So 162 minus 74. What do we got? About 80 something tonight. Hey, got about 89 something games left. God bless. Good luck. Good skill.
I think they're gonna be all right.
Yeah. Kendrick Lamar thought that was gonna be a good song too. But God bless them.
Yeah. But all right. Well, the Yankees, well, even though they did get steamrolled by Baltimore, we can't deny the fact the Yankees are stupid good this year, and they're a lot better than what we saw last season. And even though they're without Gerrit Cole, so he finally made his debut the other night. Like the Yankees, they're back to being a winning baseball team.
They'll go as far as their health goes. They're healthy, they'll be a dangerous team. That's all I do know.
And they'll go as far as their pitching goes and their offense goes.
Well, just health in general. Their health is their demise to me. I think they have all the keys on their team to make a deep run. You have an ace pitcher. You have a young guy in Gill that's pitching very well. You have a guy like Cortez who's struggling, but you can put him in the bullpen with his playoff experience. Rodon has been giving good quality starts. They've been getting good starting pitching. They have good rotation play. We know how dynamically they can be offensively, but it's just about the health. The Yankees have had issues over the last few years with guys being hurt during the right time, a la what Patrick would say with, the Mets and the Knicks and certain things. It's about health. So regardless of our biases, everybody in here who is a smart baseball guy, including yourself too with Patrick, can attest that if the Yankees are completely healthy, and here goes the other thing too, postseason baseball is crazy. So it can always look like you're going to do something, and the teams that you think have no idea of doing something are the ones that do something. So with the crazy postseason October odds going on, if the Yankees stay healthy with that team, they're going to have a deep run. That's all I will say. If they stay healthy, that's the only thing that I think is deterring them.
All right,
and then Baltimore, we have to see how it sees out with Baltimore. Baltimore's a good team. They have the talent to beat Baltimore. They just have to now get over that mental stigma of figuring out how to do it during the right time. But look, Baltimore was supposed to be a steamroller last year and lost in the first round. So that's why I say postseason can go some way sometimes that you just never know how it can go.
But now Judge got hurt the other day, didn't he?
He did.
Oh, and what's the injury? Like, is it a fracture? Like, what's the injury? Like, what's the latest?
Pat, you're gonna honest to God, guys, you guys are gonna probably tell me a liar, but summer basketball is so crazy that I can't even really pay attention to I swear to you, the actual injuries. Like, I just be checking the scores nowadays, looking at it really quick, because our brain right now for summer basketball is just like it's all over the place. But after this, I look into it, but I don't know the extent of it. But I just know in general. I mean, Soto had a day the other day, about a week and a half ago, where he was out for a few games. So then it hurt us against that Dodger series where he was out those 2 games and so on and so forth. But, there's 27 guys on the team. One guy shouldn't just change everything. But I just think that, Gerrit Cole just came back. Health. Is, what I'm saying, is going to be the key for
this team can't do anything. This team is not going to do anything without Judge, though. If this team is going to make a serious run, they're going to have Judge.
Of course.
They can't make a serious run without him. If they don't have him, so I'm wondering, because I saw the actual play, because I saw it, because they've been rewinding it, they've been showing it like over and over and over again, and that looked like a damn pretty hard hit that he took. Like, I'm surprised he doesn't wear those gloves that has pads in them. He took I'm wondering if he has a fracture. That was a pretty hard hit that he took.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what the injury is.
Not present for today. He said he's feeling better after we got some news just said after Tuesday's games, X-rays, CT scans came back negative. He's in a good spot. It's a big relief.
All right. So
that's
something
something
it's not a fracture.
Not a fracture. Thank God the X-rays came out good.
Okay.
That's something they just got to just rest them and do. Like,
so it's day to day. It's day to day.
Yeah. Honestly, but in the AL East, the Baltimore and the Yankees, Baltimore's not going anywhere. That division is going to be fought with all the way through. So I would rest him as many days as possible, because that's my biggest thing with the Yankees. And I told my guy in the back, and so I don't want to talk about baseball in the regular season. No disrespect, no, Patrick, I'm taking a shot at my team first. I'm going to do it first. I've been watching the Mets do the same thing since 1986. Okay? I've been watching the Yankees do the same foolishness for the last decade or so. They'll win 90, 95 games, 100 games. They go to postseason, first round, second round, lose. So don't call me for April to, it's all about September and October. And if they can be healthy during that time with all their guys and clicking, they have the roster and a chance to beat anybody in baseball. But it's up to health to me. They have to have everything healthy in order to do so. They don't have that. All bets are off.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
For baseball teams in general. All right. Now on to the next topic. New York versus New York kicked off last week at Rucker Park. And literally, it's action as usual. I mean, the first game was pretty much one-sided with Watson taking out West Ford 61-36. But we get to the meat grinder with Lincoln Park taking out Tri-State 59-56. And of course, my Gersh Park outlasted Duke at the beat down by as many as 10 points, 15-5, 63-58. So, Ryan, what are your overall thoughts on everything that happened this past week with New York versus New York, if you at least see the highlights? Because based on what you're telling me off the air, Chris is no joke for Gersh.
Chris Jeffrey, one of the top guards and players in New York. He was he at Eagle Brooklyn at first, or was he at Bishop Loughlin? At Bishop Loughlin, he transferred. He's at that type of prep school. Now he's at another one, Mount Zion or whatever. But this kid from Brooklyn, Chris Jeffrey, I mean, he's a tough guard, man. Big guard, can post up, face up, all moves, confident, super. I mean, you remember him, Patrick, 3 weeks ago, he's ISA, Mr. Jeffrey, and I mean, the kid he's a big time. He's a winner. He's one of the main catalysts leading them last year to win that Gersh championship, and that's what we expected, you know. And I've broken down the science of the NY Classic. And remember, I told you my predictions, what I think off air, Rafique, and I'll say it on air. Gersh core of kids. Brooklyn as a borough got a lot of things that's special about them. They got the interesting things from people on the outside who don't know about Brooklyn. But Brooklyn, as in general, as a borough, is pretty close-knit. And the basketball players and the high school kids there, like, if you look at the Gersh roster, you got 2-3 kids from Jefferson, Canarsie, Bishop Loughlin, Nazareth, South Shore. You get the point I'm going with this, right? And during the year, they either play against each other or they do play with each other. A lot of these kids, because the AAU circuits and a lot of different stuff with Brooklyn. So when now the NY Classic comes, they don't need to develop a chemistry because they already have the chemistry because they know each other. The Connor Spratlys, the Chris Jeffreys, the Tristan Davises, and we know why he's not here. We'll talk about that off air. And all these other players that's been there. Dykeman and Tri-State Dykeman doesn't have 12 kids from Dykeman playing on the team. And 12 kids from Dykeman is not necessarily going to win you an NY Classic championship, if you understand what I mean. You need kids from everywhere. So the fact that Tri-State has kids from out of state, NY Classic sometimes, Dykeman has a team where the team is good, but then this 1 week they can't get these 3 kids here because of AAU, and this 2-3. So it's too much of a shuffle, and you playing against a Gersh team that's ready to win this chip and represent for Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? And like I told you, I got them winning it again. It's most likely going to be Gersh and Lincoln Park, to me, back in the championship. But what I did tell you, watch out for Watson, because they got Caden and Jaden Mingo, them 2 boys from New High.
Watson got some good kids.
Caden and Jaden Mingo. I'm telling you, them boys. Nigel James playing for Lincoln Park, so that's what that one go for. But I think that all the games this week ended up the way it's supposed to be. Watson is going to be very dominant. They better be careful because Caden and Jaden Mingo, those kids are there to win. Lincoln Park, you're going to see the core they have, and I think Gersh is going to be right back in that championship again. So great tournament, NY Classic for the kids, and you know it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. And to get to the stats, get to some of the stats from the Gersh Park boys team. I mean, Chris Jeffries put up 17 points. Connor Spratley put up 13. And
Thomas Jefferson.
Mm-hmm. And Jamar Brewer managed to put up about like 11 points. Yeah. They got a good squad. Yeah, they got a good squad. While the loser team, Dykeman, Trevor Taylor, I think that's that young kid with the big afro. Yeah, that guy has is Rajon Rondo style of layups.
Yes, that kid's a young good kid. Him, K Deuce.
DJ Brown, 15 points. Yeah, DJ was spinning, but not really.
Yeah, you know what though? Yeah, see, last week it was so weak. It was such a hectic week for me between my health and work and stuff. So I wasn't able to make those games. But hopefully this week I'll be able to make like the game at Gersh on Tuesday. I should be able to make that one. I definitely should be able to make that one. So that'll be a good look. And
If
you
you
know
go to
what?
Gersh, just to know that they're not going to do it at Gersh this time. They might not do it at Gersh, but from what I'm told, they are working on trying to see if they can do the game at Gersh Park itself, because this kind of little painted all over the floor. I've seen the photos. They can kind of a little bit of painting. I mean, all I'm going to tell you is you do not see a 3-point line on the court. It's pink, blue, red painting like splat all on the floor. So yeah.
All right, but they got a week though, so hopefully they should be
that.
able to get it.
They're playing a Gersh. Trust me, they're gonna fix that.
Yeah, they should be able to get it together. They should be able to get it together. And
I'm
you know what, man? As far as the chip and stuff, last year Lincoln just blew it. Lincoln should have won that thing last year. Lincoln had all the pieces to have been able to. They should have been able to beat that Gersh team. That Gersh team was fine, but Lincoln had a better talent. Lincoln, they blew it, man. They really did. Lincoln should have beaten them.
That is true.
Yeah, last year, Lincoln should have beaten Gersh.
Lincoln should have beaten Gersh, but Gersh
they should have beaten. They blew it. They blew that game.
But what I say, Gersh is so close knit, and those kids play together, and they all love to win. That this stuff works out that way. You know what I'm saying? I watched Dykeman. First year could have won. Big time Wani and John James missed 4 or 5 key free throws in the last minute of the game. That should have been Dykeman's championship. You know what I'm saying?
You told me, and I seen the highlights from that game.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah. Second year, Dykeman team was really good.
Yeah.
They had Cole Anthony on the squad. I think Cole Anthony played 1 game with them during the regular season, or maybe might have been in the post, and then he came for the chip. And I think that kind of he didn't mess the chemistry up. I think when he came for the chip game, all the kids on Dykeman started just giving him the ball and say, "Yeah, Cole, you go. You're top 50." And he kind of wanted to play within the game, if you understand what I mean, and let it come to him. So they got off to a real raggedy start with that one, and they never looked back. And that was the year. Remember, Jaquan Carlos was absolutely an offensive scoring machine in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he with those kids that they had, you know, and I think that's also Kadari Richmond on that team, right? Femi, maybe a little before. Yes, also they were really good. But I can let it go then too. Gersh is they're just close knit, man. They close knit where those kids play well, and it's gonna be hard to defend Chris Jeffrey this year. I mean, I tell you, that kid.
Yeah, I just told you his stats, and you know what? I'm about to get to the stats for the Lincoln Park boys game. I mean, one of the best players that showed out that other game between Lincoln Park and Tri-State. Josh Powell from Lincoln Park put up 19 points, but this kid, Asako Osmena, he put up 13 points and 12 rebounds, double machine.
Lincoln Park, Queens.
Then we get to Tri-State. This guy, Keeling Dustin, he put up 16 points. Princeton Flower, 11. And then, those are pretty much the best players from that team.
Yeah, that kid K Deuce had a good game for them.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that is true. Now let's get to the Watson guys, because
we know who had the high points then.
Jalen Mingo, 14 points. Yep. Caden Mingo,
Jaden and Caden Mingo, the brothers.
Darren Moore only had 8 points, but it's not. But any contribution helps when you beat a team by like 25 points. Yeah, pretty much for West Forth.
The Lehigh boys ain't no joke.
Yeah, pretty much for West Forth. Ashton Reynolds, 15 points. That's 15 of the 36 points for West Forth. You couldn't get a bucket for no one else.
It's sad too. He went to Transit Tech. He was I think they had won cities 2 years ago. I don't know if they won anything else after that, but he's a jumping machine. I seen also Carter Wilson.
Anthony. Yeah, Kyan Anthony who's playing on that roster too. Man,
really?
Yeah, I'm reading it right here. Kyan Anthony, but then again, it could be any. I mean, if it's not Kamar Anthony's son, then obviously they didn't use him.
Well, maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't show up to the game. I mean,
I don't think he played yet. Right,
he probably
he's
didn't
probably
show
on
up.
the roster, but he didn't definitely play
Yeah,
that day. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes,
he just
yes.
didn't show up. Yeah,
My
probably
young
playing in
boys
other
played.
tournaments.
Remember he in the AAU session, they got all that thing going on. His father, he been killing in that AAU thing down there wherever they was. I don't know if it was Kansas or where I seen those guys at. So he's got social media going crazy with his growth, and that's why they're gonna need him on that roster. 30-something points ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, Westport's gonna bounce back and have a much better week too. They're gonna have to actually win. But out of all the losing teams, which team do you think is gonna bounce back? Should bounce back and win next week?
I think Dykeman will get into the victory column. I think they will. It's always tough to get to play against a team like Gersh in the first game. So I think they will finally bounce back and get a victory. West Fourth could be tough if Cayenne don't come back.
Who's Dykeman gonna play next week?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, they didn't announce that yet. I mean, well, whatever it is, I'm sure you guys are going to be on top of it somehow, some way. But I'm not, because I'm not going to be around due to because I have like little other commitments going on that day. And I told you about this off the air, Ryan.
Yes.
I'm not going to say what I'm doing that day, which means I'm also going to have to give up the WNBA Commissioner's Cup going down at UBS Arena, Strong Island, between the New York Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx. And I'll give a little update. Liberty are currently beating the Los Angeles Sparks right now. But besides the points, do you think the New York Liberty will win back-to-back Commissioner's Cups against the Minnesota Lynx in neutral sites?
Well,
both teams have matching records, don't they? They're both. I looked it up today. They're both 12-3.
Yeah, Minnesota.
They're currently playing the Los Angeles Sparks, and Liberty are winning right now.
Yeah, I think Minnesota actually kicked our butts 2 weeks ago, so we got to definitely make up for that. They beat us pretty good. So but I have all confidence. I want them to win. So, but I told Rafique I was gonna go get a ticket, but I forgot that the my Classic is on Tuesday. Patrick, I'm telling you right now, if you ain't driving there, I'm not dealing with the headache from Nike. We'll talk about that off the air as well too. So
I'm a drive. I should be available that day. So yeah, we can go.
What time is the first game starting? Like 5:30, right?
Yeah, they didn't announce it yet.
But they usually always put it 5:36. They're gonna do that interview stuff there. So all right, I get out of work at 3. As soon as we get out, we go down there and pray on the line. I'll try to see what I can make happen in the last second.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be driving through some traffic too, so we gotta do what we gotta do, because we're all gonna be driving through some traffic anyway. Even though it's summertime, the traffic shouldn't be that bad, but there'll be something, So, but I hope it's at Gersh, so at least if the game's at Gersh, we don't have to go deep into Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Like we could still get there at a decent time.
Yeah. The high school division all the way to Thomas Jefferson. They played the games at Thomas Jefferson and that little community center that's like really next door to Gersh.
Yeah. No, but Nike doesn't want to. Nike, remember, to showcase their whole product, Nike prefers it to be outside. The only way Nike's going to go indoor is if it rains. That's going to be a guarantee because the games are going to get played regardless. But they want to set up the gym, the park, to market it per se. So that's why they definitely going to want it there. And honestly, I think it would be very it's an injustice if they don't have this outside at Gersh for them to lift up their banner outside for everybody to see. I think it should be outside. It should be at Gersh. I heard that's what it's supposed to lock down to be. I think they deserve that for their championship night, those kids, to be outside.
And I'm not arguing with you on that one, but I'm saying it's a possibility that it's to be determined because of that little painted mess on the floor.
That too. And you know what, Rafique? It's actually going to rain Monday or Tuesday. I think I did see that. Or Sunday, Monday. Maybe Tuesday will be fine. Tuesday might be fine. So well, listen, we'll see. They're going to figure it out. Somebody's going to play basketball on Tuesday.
Yeah, seriously. All right, that wraps up this episode. Nothing but that sports talk. Thank you for stopping by, Ryan Walker and Patrick Poullard. Very nice discussion.
All right. The Crash Brothers.
I'm Rafique Louison. We will see you next time.
Peace.
That's the Crash Brother.